But what is DNA? It is a message with content. It is information. It is language. Just as English uses a 26-letter alphabet to spell out words, DNA uses a 4-letter chemical alphabet. In fact, inside every cell in your body is as many words as you would find in 200 years of the Sunday New York Times. In fact, if you wanted to read the genetic code aloud, and you did it at 3 characters a second, and you did it night and day, it would take you 31 years to read the genetic code inside one cell in your body. Friends, if a single sentence from space is enough to conclude there's an intelligence behind it, what about this vast storehouse of information inside every cell in our body? Friends, every single time we see information, whether it's a computer code, whether it's a book, whether it's a painting on a cave wall, whenever we see information, always, 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 there is an intelligence behind it. And by the way, this is not just evidence that convinces Christians. Let's go to the most famous atheist philosopher of the 20th century, Anthony Flew. Anthony Flew wrote the book, The Presumption of Atheism. Anthony Flew, for 50 years, taught atheism at major universities around the world. And yet, a few years ago, I opened my New York Times, and there on the front page is an article saying, the greatest atheist of the century says, oops, I was wrong. God does exist. Now, I tend to be a skeptic. My background's in journalism and law. Can imagine put those two things together. What kind of a jerk skeptic that you get. So I'm not taking this at face value. I don't care if it's on the front page of the New York Times. I want to know for a fact, how could this be? How could this be? So I tracked down Anthony Flew, and I sat him in a chair. I said, Dr. Flew, you're the most famous atheist of the century. Are you telling me that after 50 years, oops, I was wrong? What changed your mind? And he looked at me and he said, Lee, for one thing, it's the integrated complexity of the biological world. The kind of stuff I just talked about when we talked about DNA. And his ultimate conclusion is that God does exist.